Hello, welcome. You are on the Heart of Success show, and I'm your host, Larissa Vakulina. And I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time zone. But today I moved it half an hour earlier, and I explain for you later what's the reason for that. So this show is all about success, not the only success that you perceive as a success in your business or professional life and in your attaining positions or wealth, success in all areas of your life. Here I am sharing and showing and providing values and tips and tools and methods how you too can create success in all areas of your life, in your health, in your hobbies, in your relationships, in your professional and business life, in your personal creativity. So today is a special day. Today is my birthday. I have said that, right? So, and I was thinking about what to really share with you today, and I got myself back into the years of my growth and into the years of my challenged times, and I was just contemplating on the birth process, and I was just being motivated to really share with you different experiences throughout my life, how many times I experienced birthing. It's not only the physical birth that I was born back years and years ago on that day. This is the most important day. We take on the journey in the physical body. And that's where we started in that particular incarnation. But going through our experiences in our life and going through our lessons and all our decisions and not decisions, we go through the birthing processes constantly. So it's not at one time occurrence that we just been born and that's it. This is the only day that we get here, and then we go with that day until there's a termination of the energy consciousness, and then we see it as a death. But during our time, we go through many different stages of birthing and rebirthing. So for me, it is important to share with you that some time ago, many years ago, I was running my international trading business, and I was so busy and involved with building it, and I was not even feeling how much stress I was accumulating in my body, in my system, in my emotional body. And at one stage, I was just so unwell in terms of like I couldn't sleep. I just would go to bed, and 2 hours, in 2 hours, I would wake up, and my mind would go into this carousel of this thinking that I couldn't go back to sleep. I would just have this thought process of how I could have done better, maybe yesterday, a week ago. How could I have done or did or do or tell? And it really was a really difficult time for me. So I think that was the first sign for me to start to really look at something much more deeper within myself. But I didn't know back then. So I was looking for solutions about my sleep problems. And so I used different, traditional and different methods of, drinking milk and counting and have honey before bed and things like that. But nothing really helped. And I was so desperate to really get myself out of that state of sleepless nights. that I was just like opening up my mind to any kind of possibilities that can help me. And I remember I went somewhere and I was waiting for my appointment or something, and I could see there's a magazine was laying on a table, and there was a big name of the article says meditation, and it stood up for me so strongly. In that moment, I just kind of censored that meditation could possibly help me. So I couldn't wait to get back home on that day to really practice the meditation. And that little article was only about 5 sentences saying basically that sit down, get rid of all the noise, and just have yourself comfortable, close your eyes and start to breathe. So that's what I did. And I didn't really expect that this really a very strong phenomena happened at that time, that I was feeling that energetically there's some kind of a peaceful presence was with me, and it almost like brushed through my heart and took all the worries and took all of these anxieties and thoughts that been wasteful for me at that time, and that was affecting my sleep pattern. And I don't know, it was probably about only 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And this presence, that wave of going through my heart, taking all of these worries away. It's like almost I felt that physically there was something was coming out of me and was outside of me. So that was the first time that I really have this connection to this higher imperative or the divinity. And I realized that that was my birth into the connecting to divinity. So this was very important date for me, because that really gave me that level of trust that there is some other powers that we don't have control of, but we don't know yet, and we don't have awareness of it. So since that time, that date was also a quite important date for me, because this night after that meditation, I was sleeping like 10 hours with a deep sleep. And when I wake up next morning, I realized that, oh my God, I never had the rest to this deeper level as I did after that meditation. So basically, struggle of many months and years of sleepless nights, in one meditation, it was, it was healed. But what I've also realized that there's a reawakening happening, and that almost like a date of new birth for me. Since that time, the divine, the divine birth or divine birth in me started to take place. And I also realized that this is not only one day. So this is the journey. Was the starting of the journey to explore all of these areas of the divine connection. So I'm just inviting everyone who is listening or gonna to reply later, like look at the patterns in your life, and if there are any signs of the unhappiness or unwellness or some kind of diseases and symptoms, simple steps. Oh my God, sorry, there's something happening with my internet connection. So for a moment, I just disappeared. I'm sorry. So yes, what I was talking about is that this step to meditation can really help. But there's many other ways of how we can help ourselves with all of these disbalances that we have. But today's topic is about birthday. So my physical birthday and my divine birthday been really far apart. And sometimes I notice that in many people that divine birthday would never take a place in this particular incarnation, but the other people are having such a accelerated way of growing and maturing into that spiritually mature person, that they actually are ready to be invite the rebirthing for the same uh, body, like a reincarnation in the same body. So I didn't know that, but some years ago I went through a very huge changes in my life, and only when I attended Barbara Brennan School of Healing, I realized and I learned that she was the first that was putting this concept in her books, that there is a phenomena of the reincarnation in the same physical body. So what does that mean? It means that when we awakening and when we willingly would like to take this path of growing and developing into a higher emotionally mature people, we readying, we preparing our energy consciousness system to take step on to take the life task that was planned for us to the next incarnation. So that was placed by Barbara Brennan in her first book, and also she mentioned it in her second book. So, and when she placed the symptoms of the process of reincarnating, rebirthing into the new life task in the same body, I start to recognize exactly where I was at that time. So it is a very traumatic and very painful process. It's like all birth is. When we look at the birth of a little child, it is traumatic and it is painful. When the consciousness is trying to fit into this little physical body and start to really adjust and feel comfortable with that, it takes years and years and years. When we find our talents, or when we develop our skills, or when we have our achievements, it also takes time. It's almost like a rebirthing process. We constantly are giving birth to the ideas and actions and what we create and achieve. But when we got to the stage when our energy consciousness is ready to take on the new task, well, then our physical body, psychological, emotional, and spiritual subtle bodies go through a tremendous changes, through tremendous dissolving. So Barbara was describing it as a dissolving of the old intention, and also building and establishing the new intentional level. And for me, it was like I almost didn't know who I am. All of the normal, usual personality traits, or my character structures, and the way I was looking at life and the way I was doing everything was really not anymore of available for me, because I was thinking I was lost. I was completely lost, and I couldn't really get myself together, to the extent sometimes that I would lose temporarily. I would lose memory. So that's how extreme it was. And then when I created a serious disease, that was like time when there's a possibility to terminate life in this physical body. But I made different decision, and I took on the challenge of going through it with learning, and also to I didn't know that was the rebirthing process. So I was just going with my intuition, and I was having the courage to go through it. And when I read about all of these phenomena, I recognized straight away that that was end of my past life task, and there was possibility to die and then take on the next incarnation and keep on the new life task. But I decided I will just leave. I wanted to leave, and I through these dramatic changes of not knowing myself, I felt like I didn't even fit anymore in the mold that I was seeing myself in. And it was scary. It was really challenging. It was also a place where I was afraid that others would judge me, and they did. But I didn't know that I just really trusted myself in that process. And basically, I just went through it. So it took about 2.5 years where I completely was lost. I was really searching for who I am and what I would like to do. And what I did, I really just gave myself time, and I gave myself space, and I also practiced compassion to myself and patience with myself. I stopped judging myself. I started to increase self-love. And after 2.5 years, when I was studying at Barbara Brennan School of Healing, this process of rebirthing into the new life task was basically finalized. And I knew within myself that I have that grander service to do for the world. I knew that I am here not only just to achieve and have my goals, and I'm here having that much more wider and grander task, a life task for me that is now basically is molding me into doing what I'm doing right now with you. So I really would like to just give you 3 or 4 little tips about if you feeling out of the balance, if you feeling as you're not fitting anymore into this reality, if you feeling that like you are struggling in what you're doing, you are struggling in a relationship, you find yourself in that constricted and very confined space, I really recommend you don't stay there. Don't remind yourself in the known and familiar, but you know within yourself that this is not something that you would like to be and do and be in that space. So just create that trust and believe that you need to take yourself out of that space as soon as you have awareness of it, because this is really dangerous place to be. And it can be much more painful than it is right now. So the first step is like, don't remain in constricted and confined familiar space. Let go of that old and allow it to die. So that's really is just let go of that familiar old place that you always know how to deal with, but you're really not fulfilled or satisfied or happy, or you have some symptoms, you have some physical challenges. So this is the signs. You need to really look further. So the second step is like create space and create time for the rebirthing to take place, because it will take, doesn't matter if you will allow it or not. If you allow it and consciously choose to take yourself out of that discomfort of the familiar and unhappiness of the familiar and go into that unknown and trust in the process, that will be less painful for you to go through that rebirthing or the divine birthing. So the third one is be willing to take a risk, to open up your heart. This is the hardest things that humans are considering to do, because this is the risk of accepting yourself how you are, and also accepting the others. And the risk is that if I open my heart, well, then I will experience that pain that I experienced some time ago when I tried to open it. So, and many people asking me, how do I open my heart? Well, basically, you don't need to know how to open. You just need to have 1% willingness to trust the process and say, I'm 1% willing to open my heart. And then when you really have 1% willingness to do that, well, the divine energies, the divine influx straight away can pick you up and start to work through you, because you are an instrument. You are an instrument through that divine creative force to go through. And in order for us to allow that to happen, we need to go through that rebirthing process and birthing process. And it is not always a pleasurable things to do. But the more conscious we can do it, the more conscious we can say, okay, I was born here for some grander purpose. I was born here to express myself in a way that can benefit me and others. Well, then you are willing to present your instrument for the divine to take over and take you where you need to be. And also, like, learn to feel comfortable in your new life expression. Because when I was in that 2.5 years period of time where I was just completely lost, I didn't know who I am, and really the decisions or the actions that I did at that period of time were absolutely unexplainable. Sometimes it was painful and it was not logical at all. But at the same time, I just trusted that, and I was staying with myself. I was not leaving myself for the things or processes to go and look at someone to help me, to numb me. Basically, if I would go and get myself into a different kind of chemical help in terms of balancing my chemical reactions, who knows where I would be right now. And I'm not saying that this medical protocols or the medicine is not helping us. It helps, but it is prolonging our rebirth into that purpose that we are here for. So just summarize today's episode. Again, I'm really grateful for you to be here with me. And today, on the day of my birthday, I moved my show half an hour earlier because my family created some surprise for me. And just about in 10 minutes, my son will come and pick me up, and I would go and celebrate my life. Celebrate my birthdays, not only the one, but all the birthdays that I went through in my life. And I know it's not the only ones. I know that there's many to come, because divine birthing and growing and developing is a gradual organic process of how we can become more emotionally mature, more spiritually connected, more physically healthy, more psychologically prepared for the tasks that we come here for. And I really would like to say thank you to everyone. I just go to the comments, and Tatiana, thank you so much to be here with me. MJ, I'm so grateful you here. I know it's a different time in where you at, and Gain Chan, thank you so much for jumping on to hear what I'm going to share, what I was sharing today. And I'm just so happy that you supporting me here. And it is very challenging for me to be showing myself in such a way. But I know this is my life task. This is my a new life task that I was reincarnated some 8-10 years ago, and I took that challenge to now express myself in this way and share with you my personal, journey, which was quite hard and difficult. It was a journey of the mistakes. It was journey of the tests, and it was journey of expanding and contracting back again, and testing the waters, and expanding again and contracting again. And this is the life journey. So I really would like to say you just take great care of yourself. Become aware of your processes within yourself, because then the mark of having your signs to be sorted out is just one. If you happy, if you healthy, if you fulfilled, well, then you know you are on the right way. And if you have some sort of conflicts, disbalances, discords, symptoms, well, then there is a invitation for you to look back at yourself and start to sort that out slowly, one step at a time. Thank you so much. And see you next Wednesday at normal time, 2 o'clock.